for this review, we have the re-release of the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Optimus, Jetfire, and the RC sisters. When you get this, it's going to come in this big brown package with this product code on it. So if you get a bunch of stuff and it's like, hey, what is this? That is what you've got. There is a barcode on here that is a sticker. I don't know what's up with that. But let's get this open. And inside you got this really nice box. I don't think this has ever been a product altogether. Matter of fact, I don't think these two were ever sold together. So one of those weird mashups. You know, we got like the Autobot team from the first movie in a pack. We got the Decepticon team missing Brawl in that pack. And now we have this Revenge of the Fallen pack. There is a little sticker up here. It says 15 years. So, yeah, is it? Wow, it is 15 years since Revenge of the Fallen. So that's kind of an anniversary. Um, the artwork here is all like from the marketing from back then. On the top, you get this nice Revenge of the Fallen logo. On the side, you get to see Optimus. On the other side, it is RC and her sisters. On the bottom, here is the UPC. And on the back, get some product shots and get this pretty big display, but basically shows you everybody in vehicle, robot mode, and the combined mode for Optimus. And looks kind of weird, like they didn't transform them right. So big screen inspired. All right, so that is the outer packaging. Let's get them opened up here. Okay, so you will get the little legal document, and you do get a one big poster instruction book that has the transformation for everybody on here. And then everybody is in the pack like this. Optimus looks like he's in a very strange pose. Very interesting. Jetfire is in vehicle mode, and the sisters are in some kind of weird, I guess they're in robot mode, maybe. So you get that, and then you get this really nice backdrop. I don't collect these too often, but this one looks particularly nice. And one thing is that the base, I don't know what's going on with the base. The base, oh, this is a shelf. Look at this. This is I know this is just cardboard, but I think this is the first time I've seen them use like a slide out shelf for the display. That is okay. That's different. And it is reversible. Wow. Um, so yeah, it looks like you can untab this. I don't know how you're gonna do this without tearing it up, but you can untab this and swap the background out. I don't know that they've ever done that before. Um, okay, that is really cool. Okay, so you saw the inner carton. You do also get this bag, and in the bag is just parts for RC and the other ones. So appears to be it. There is nothing else on the bat, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, let's get these guys all the way out and then take a look at the figures. Okay, so here's everything out of the package. Um, the motorcycle bots will require a little bit of assembly because they have these little kickstands that help stand them up. Um, these are some of the weirdest transformer designs ever. It's cool that they made this. Considering how small these are and how complicated they are, you end up having a bunch of little kibble left over, and I don't know if these pieces can be attached, but um, they look fine without them. For the sake of keeping this video is not making this a 45-minute video, we won't go over all this. They do look really nice. I will give them that. Optimus, he's an interesting design, and I remember when this came out, I was kind of confused, like, why did they come out with a new design for Optimus? And then once they came out, talking about the toy, not the movie, and then once this guy came out, like, oh, okay, they had to re-engineer this so that you could, um, have be able to combine him because the original studio series wouldn't have been able to do this. So this particular Optimus does come with the swords, hand swords, and I will say I think this figure in general is pretty decent. One thing that you're going to have to deal with all of these Studio Series figures is that they have some really nice detail, but they are not going to have all the paint apps that would really make them like accurate, so to speak. So, you'll notice like there's no flames on any of the robot mode stuff. There is flames on the truck mode parts, but robot mode, you're missing a lot of paint apps that would, bring the details out. Jetfire comes with the things that make him iconic. He's got the sword. There is a way to tab this in somewhere. You got his um, landing gear that turns into a cane, and it's a little interesting that they got these guys in robot mode and they put him in vehicle mode, but he takes up so much space. I guess it was clever to, you know, be able to put him in there like this to save some space. Uh, I have not had this particular mold before. I remember when the movie came out and that leader class figure that came out in that line. I didn't like it too much, but it was pretty decent. I am digging how realistic this is as a SR-71. Now I know the underside is all, robot kibble, but just looking at the top portion, it's pretty nice. It's unfortunate that his head is just kind of sticking out here, but it's okay. All right, so do want to show off these guys just a little bit. So there's no changes in this release. So this is pretty much how these guys looked from their original release. But if you are unfamiliar with them, here they are. I don't know if I've got the sisters transformed correctly. Pretty sure on RC, but Chromia and damn, I can't remember the other one. Something tells me these are probably a little inaccurate. There, there's also a mode where you can combine them to form like this amalgamation. We will not be going over that, but there is a mode. Okay, so uh, I do want to get these two combined and show you that and compare it with the Dark of the Moon jet mode. So let's jump to that and do some comparisons there. Okay, so here is Jetfire in robot mode, and he is pretty cool looking. He's got a very weird transformation, um, clever, and he ends up looking quite movie accurate in this way. Thinking about how this guy looked back in the day, with the old, like when the movie came out, uh, back during that time. Um, this is an improvement. Um, I'm one of the people that never had the Studio Series toy, so this is a bit of a this is nice for me to be able to mess with this for the first time. Looks like I probably need to get him to be a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more squat so that he can utilize the cane a little bit better. He does have a little bit of like movement, so he can move his head around a little bit. Nothing happens here. All these this piece here is rubber. This piece here is rubber. It only moves as part of his transformation. But generally he would be looking down and talking to the other smaller Autobots. So that's kind of his whole MO here. I'm just gonna change his posture so you can see his head a little bit better. He's got a lot of paint apps, like right up here in his bicep, he's got like this blue and this little red line. So they they did a bit to make this guy stand out, which is really nice. He even has this weird thing where he's got this yellow dot on the foot, um, which I believe is part of the actual movie design. Um, yeah, he cleans up really well. Out of this whole, combined mode, he probably shines the best as an individual bot. Um, so yeah, uh, very nice figure. Kind of surprised how nice this guy is. Okay, so now we will go into the full combined mode and do some more comparisons here. Okay, so here he is in combined mode, and it is quite a sight to look at. Um, in the movie, he basically all these parts for Jetfire just kind of like break off and just kind of attach to Optimus, and that's pretty much what's happening here. For a retail figure, I think this works pretty decent. Definitely better than the original release back in the day. Um, I do think it's pretty clever how they got the parts to integrate. There's some things that are a little weird, but for the most part, it works okay. One thing I do want to note is that these pieces on the legs, this little arm, um, when you are, I'm sorry, this piece where it twists at, it makes a very awful sound, like the tolerances are too tight, and it kind of feels like you're going to break this thing. I would turn and get so far and it just wouldn't turn anymore, and I would just kind of stop and just wait and then turn a little bit and then turn a little bit and turn a little bit. Um, this might be one of those occasions where like heating up this piece on each side may be a good idea. I know some people will put like silicone gel into joints. I don't like doing stuff like that, but um, you might want to consider at least heating it up when you're moving these two joints. Um, there's also a little weird thing. These feet are flipped from Jetfire, so they're like flipped around. Like you'll notice that the yellow dots on this side. They do have some maybe like a little bit of ankle tilt inward. They have a lot of ankle tilt outward. So you will be able to do some A stance type stuff, but nothing too crazy. Um, at the same time, he wasn't doing like Spider-Man poses in this mode either. So you shouldn't, be trying to go too dynamic. I mean, he mostly was, flying around where, his head does have some good upwards articulation to accomplish that. I do find this piece sticking out a little weird. Um, not by too much, but I wish there was something better that could have been done with this piece. Maybe one more, articulation joint to hide it better. And I do think these pieces should stick out a little further, but those are my nitpicks. So the whole, like, Jetfire's head basically is meant to be this gun that he has. And I can't get this to work. um, okay, I think I see how this works now. So there's a kind of little piece sticking out in the back. Let's see if I can get this on camera. And it's basically the handle. Um, it is real awkward how they expect you to make him hold this, but he can kind of do it. Yeah, that doesn't really fit. And I may have this wrong. The instructions make this part uh, kind of mysterious. But he somehow holds this, and this is just a mess. I know there is or was a DNA design kit from back in the day. Probably a good idea to maybe get that if you're going to get this guy and just put him to the side because this is just kind of ridiculous. Um, you can put his axe in, his landing gear, crutch, cane turns into that gun that ends up on that side. So that's kind of cool. That DNA design kit also kind of fills up some of these gaps and things like that. Again, it's amazing that they were able to engineer this thing. So, comparing him to the Dark of the Moon jet mode, and that toy, this was recently released, well, re-released last year around this time. And, quite some interesting things about the releases. This release had the clear windows, this one had the painted windows. It is the same figure. They basically replaced, I can't get it out, but this centerpiece comes out on both of them. That's the one like alternating piece to kind of make him a little different in each movie. The plastics are a little bit different. Maybe just a hair. Like he seems a bit more glossy than this version. But for the most part, these are the same figure. It's just this whole add-on gimmick is different between the two. Um, so just something interesting. They definitely could improve both of these guys by doing some better paint apps on these, but Studio Series for its price point, they're going to cut some corners here and there, so it is what it is. So that's a review. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're into the Studio Series scale and you didn't get this guy, I definitely recommend getting him. It's a cool figure, fun figure. Man, especially if you were into Transformers Armada, that's what this whole idea comes from anyway. And it's fun. Definitely be careful about these joints down here and maybe consider picking up the DNA design kit. I think maybe they're re-releasing it to go along with this re-release. So check out, Big Bad Toy Store and places like that. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, tune into more videos coming up. And if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you.